It is Monday, the 4th day of September 2023. Hello there and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to News Tonight. First, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, security detonates 6 other improvised explosive devices. FDC declines to fund Birigwa's Extraordinary Delegates Conference. Experts predict a fuel crisis in the near future in Uganda. And in sports, USPA votes Cheptegei and Chiplangat Sports Personalities of the Month. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, police have detonated more 6 improvised explosive devices that were engineered to terrorize Kampala metropolitan area. Security have called for vigilance and calmness within the central business district, as we hear in this story.
The arrest of Kento Abdurrahim, a suspected suicide bomber who attempted to detonate an improvised explosive device at Rubaga Miracle Center, led security to the location of more 3 IEDs in the suburb of Lunguja near the Adventist Church.
The joint security agencies have managed to locate 6 IEDs that within these 2 days that were meant to cause harm.
Abdurrahim is suspected to have 5 accomplices who are determined to detonate explosives in crowded areas, though still on the run.
Including him, so we are now actively searching for the 5 other co-conspirators who are still on the large, who are still at large, and he also managed to lead us to their 2 rented house at Lunguja Zone 8, where we recovered 3 constructed IEDs.
In the ongoing operations in Kampala, police have arrested other suicide bombers, one in Natete Mabito and the other in Bunamwaya. Counter-terrorism has detonated the explosives.
The other IED has been located at Peaceful Guest House in Ngobe Bunamwaya. That is where we've managed to recover it, and plans are in place to have it detonated at the scene.
Kumachuru waliro warunatete tufunye kwendala tubade tufunye kwendala satu some time back. And as we talk now, we are here in a place called Bunamwaya Ngobe, in a place called Peaceful Guest House. Kati abantu abachamu babadde atene bomu togera sawa zino ekyali mu room. Kati experts bali wano bakola nga bajijayo nga baje detonating.
The bomb threats to Uganda come few weeks after UK's travel advisory, citing a likely indiscriminate terror attack on Uganda. The advisory highlighted targeted areas like bars, transport hubs, sporting and religious events. Abdul Nasser Luwama and Rogers Komago for UBC.
Now, police, with the aid of managers of places that accommodate huge gatherings in the central business district of Kampala, should enforce mandatory check-up on entry points of shopping arcades, transport terminals and markets. Now, this in a bid to deter any form of terror attacks, as we hear in this story.
With security agencies confirming that they have detonated 6 improvised explosive devices in the last 2 days in Lubaga Division, there is a general laxity in enforcing the security guidelines issued July 14 after the Kampala twin bombs.
Together, the joint security agencies have managed to locate 6 IEDs within these 2 days.
Walking through the streets of Kampala, transport terminals and the arcades that are always crowded, most entry points are unmanned as opposed to guidelines issued by police. In the aftermath of the Kampala twin bombings, all arcades, markets and transport terminals were mandated to buy a body scanner and employ a security officer on every entry point, install security cameras and observe neighborhood watch. Downtown Kafumbe Mukasa Road and St. Balikudembe Market, business was as usual, as nobody seemed to be bothered about the threat yet. Nelson Sekandi, the manager of Namaiwa bus terminal, together with his head of security, Wellborn Opio, urged passengers to cooperate with management for the effective maintenance of security in the bus terminal.
Good enough, these things have been in place, just that we have increased on more manpower together with police to make sure that the security within the park is safe.
Because of this threat, we are really checking all the bags with the metal detectors.
The vice chairman of Uganda Taxi Operators Federation, Khalifan Musajalumbwa, said that they have already liaised with Kasese and police to see how security can be handled in the Kampala parks, starting with the 2 main parks of Old and New Park. Marion Awori and Edward Collins Chuko, UBC.
Now, Forum for Democratic Change, FDC Party Working Committee members have resolved not to grant the budget of 638 million shillings to the chairman of the party, Waswa Birigwa. He had presented to hold the extraordinary delegates. Now, the conference was to discuss reconciliation among members of the party. FDC's deputy spokesperson John Kikonyogo was addressing the media at the FDC party headquarters at Najanankumbi.
3 weeks back, FDC National Chairman Ambassador Waswa Birigwa announced an extraordinary delegates conference in a newspaper advert without consulting the party. The deputy spokesperson FDC, John Kikonyogo, says the working committee that sat on 1st September was presented with a budget of 638 million shillings from the office of the chairman for the extraordinary delegates conference. However, the party is not convinced on why it should spend money on the extraordinary delegates conference, yet there is a delegates conference for electing new leadership.
A delegates conference which is going to elect leaders, and at the same time we have an extraordinary delegates conference which is being proposed by the chairman. The party will be constrained financially. 12 of them to be more than 1.3 billion, which we don't have as a party at present.
So it is not true that we don't have money. We have money, actually. There's committee meeting, they said they had borrowed money from sources that are classified. I think we can borrow from that same classified sources. And I want to assure the country that we are mobilizing money for the National Delegates Conference. And we also want to thank you, the Democrats, the members who have supported this cause, because we anticipated this.
Kikonyogo reveals that on the issue of the extraordinary delegates meeting, there were letters exchanging hands with the chairman, Ambassador Birigwa. He suspects there is a group of members pressuring him to hold the conference.
The delegates conference was being forced on the chairman by some individuals who have been holding some press conferences outside the party headquarters.
We've been running the party. What is the health of the party? What are these rumblings about? And how do we secure our party? All these are well within the ambit of the National Delegates Conference. And that's all we are doing as the office of the chair, to provide a platform for political discussion.
Meanwhile, the party has announced that elections ended and picking nomination forms for all positions of National Executive Committee start 8th and ends 12th September.
On the 18th, all the members of FDC cabinet, that's the working committee, will be returning their forms. And these members include the party president and his 4 deputies, the party chairperson and his deputies.
Nomination papers picked electronically and manually from 19th September to 22nd September. And we have them returned on 2nd October to 6th October. Delegates conference is supposed to take place on 23rd November. So you have even the approved roadmap has been overrun, has been subverted. I don't think I'm interested. For as long as the present stalemate is not solved, I have no business. I have none whatsoever.
The working committee is to again sit Wednesday 6th to hear from the chairman of the party about the relevancy of the extraordinary delegates conference. I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia.
National Resistance Movement Chairperson for Kasese District, Dr. Crispus Kionga, has said that the coming of the National Unity Platform President, Robert Senta Muchagulanyi, to Kasese District does not in any way threaten the NRM as a ruling party. He says over the past years, the NRM movement has regained strength in Kasese after people believing in prosperity that has been extended to the population by the ruling party.
Over 200 opposition supporters in Kasese district have crossed to the NRM ruling party, many of them coming from the FDC. Speaking to the media shortly after receiving them at Bwera Teachers College in Impondwe, Rubiri Town Council, the chairperson for NRM Kasese District, Dr. Crispus Kionga, said the country tour of the new president is not a threat to the ruling NRM party. He encouraged the converts to be hardworking and utilize the government programs like Fresh Development Model. He reminded the people of Kasese to revive the green for food security.
We are putting a lot of emphasis on food security, using cassava as the central theme. Cassava, this area, the staple food is cassava. Like matoke is the staple food in Toro, in Ankole, in Buganda. Here, the staple food is cassava. But we are using it as the lead slogan to build food security. Yeah, because to have just cassava cannot solve, cannot provide adequate feeding to the population.
Even with Kasese district have been seen crossing to the NRM party.
Now, experts have warned that Uganda will suffer a fuel scarcity challenge if government does not intervene on the high prices of fuel that have risen above 5,000 shillings per litre. A sales and marketing director at Europet Petroleum, Carlos Kaniga, attributes this to the high demand and low supply chain in the crude oil industry and global production cuts, together with the rising world oil prices and appreciating of the dollar against the shilling.
The increase was noticeable at Shell, Total and City Oil, among others. A litre of petrol cost between shillings 5,380 to 5,480 shillings at Shell, while at Total it was at 5,310 shillings. Motorists at most pump stations in and around Kampala attributed the skyrocketing prices to the taxes levied on fuel.
Amafuta gano gaba gajja. Government egajjako omusolo mungi. Kati n'omusuubuzi anoonya kyokola ne kimubula. Kyokola bei ekola ki? Erinnya. Ate minisita tavaayo kutubuulira lwaki amafuta zembeera twagimanyiira era tulina buzibu naye tujja kugitambuliramu ku ppaka.
Carlos explains that the world oil prices went up towards the end of August 2023 from $80 per barrel to about $88.5 per barrel.
Most depots in Kampala have no fuel. There's no fuel in town, and I want to imagine if the situation does not go down by close of business today or tomorrow, my prices are still going up because most depots in Kampala are dry.
Nevertheless, Uganda needs to construct fuel storage facilities to cater for the national fuel reserves. Brian Tumwinebia Ruhanga, UBC News.
Now, Ugandans who seek medical interventions abroad encounter financial constraints due to huge sums of money required to diagnose their illnesses. And in lieu of this, the Uganda Medical Expo Africa has organized a health sharing exhibition to raise awareness on how to treat and prevent common diseases that affect the public.
Most times, patients seek treatment abroad on diseases which could have been treated and healed at home. This is attributed to inadequate information about treatment of such diseases within the country.
You find that my people want to go to India or Turkey, and yet actually some of the facilities are available in Entebbe, in Bale, or some people might want to say, okay, for us we just don't want Ugandan doctors. Okay, fair enough. What can you therefore do in case you have that? For example, I keep telling my friends that in Khartoum, before the war, there's a heart institute there that treats Africans for free.
The Medical Expo will give the public an avenue to interface with various medical practitioners, ranging from medical doctors to manufacturers of medical equipment.
Suicidal rates in men are almost 80% of people who commit suicide are men. They are one of the most depressed demographic, but there is absolutely zero help and zero information about that. Okay, we know, for example, that old person's medicine in Uganda has been almost non-existent. It's only recently that a specialist has just finished school, finishing doing his fellowship in Australia, came back last year, set up a old people's, what we call geriatrics, old people's clinic in Mulago. Okay, so when your own parents or you become old, what do? So he will be there speaking.
If you're going to do screening, let it be mentioned. You can have a pull-up or a poster that talks about the different things. And then you can also have things like promotional giveaways with your brand, just to give it more visibility. So that is really what we expect, or what we encourage exhibitors to have on their stall outlook.
Medical interventions for minor illnesses will be carried out during the 3-day.
Really the key thing is exchange of information and networking. When I have a cataract, there's somebody in the village who I know has a cataract. Do I know the Mengo Eye Clinic is able to handle that? Do I know that Agawal is able to handle that? Great. Then you move forward. But there are very simple things that need to be done, fair enough. But the key thing here is the health literacy.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, the Ministry of Health is seeking funding to enhance service delivery at grassroots level. During the conditional grants negotiations with the Local Government Finance Commission, representatives from the Ministry of Health highlighted the need to increase funding from 14 to 30% in the financial year 2024-2025.
Uganda's healthcare system still lags, while healthcare in rural settings is the most affected. This poses a threat to the sector and the public at large. It is from this background that the Ministry of Health has decried the need for more funding to enhance service delivery.
The local government said that what they get is too little. So they get only 14% of what is appropriated for the health services in the country. They would need a review of that. So that they get probably about 30%, and that will address most of the challenges the funding challenges local governments are facing.
During the negotiations exercise for conditional grants with the Ministry of Health, representatives emphasized the need to uplift human resource in the ministry as a precursor to boost the sector.
The structure for human resources for medical services or health services has just been approved. There is need for a review. And this, the ministry has already brought it up with the Minister of Public Service, and the Minister of Public Service has constituted a committee to hear the feedback from local governments.
The chairperson of the commission, Isaac Isanga Msumba, mentioned critical.
And we apologize for the breakup in that story there. Now, the Norwegian Refugee Council organized a commemorative event for International Youth Day under the theme Green Skills for Youth Towards a Sustainable World. The event was aimed at highlighting the crucial role of refugee youths in building a sustainable future by focusing on the development of green skills that contribute to environmental preservation and social economic advancement.
Building Togetherness is a youthful refugee group that focuses mainly on environmental sustainable solutions and empowering each other to earn a livelihood. The group comprises of 16 members from refugees across the region by making charcoal briquettes from waste products and garbage.
We have refugees from Burundi, we have refugees from Congo, we have refugees from South Sudan. Then the NRC came and bought us 2 machines. We have a dream also of leaving this charcoal dust, because we get those charcoal dust from the trees, and we use waste materials. From waste materials, we will be getting the charcoal dust. Then we will sanitize the people of not cutting trees.
The Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, has impacted greatly the life of youth refugees by inspiring and empowering them through harnessing green skills for personal and community development. Dixon Oduru, the head of communications at NRC, notes that empowering the youth through green skilling is important in achieving a sustainable world and driving positive change.
So as NRC, as the youth who are gathered here today, we are advocating, we are really pushing for more sustainable ways of promoting development, for more sustainable ways of achieving our goals. That's why we want to see to it that what we do today doesn't really impact on the world tomorrow. So it's very important that whatever programming we're doing, whatever activities we're doing is environmentally friendly and takes care of our very fragile universe.
Refugee implementing partners in the country commemorated the International Youth Day, where youths showcase their talents and environmental skills. The day advocates for policies and initiatives that promote the integration of green skills into educational and employment opportunities for the youth.
What you have gone through to be here, but then now that you are here, you need to ensure that you live peacefully.
Zahra Abigaba, UBC.
Now, investors in Uganda say the market for Ugandan products will expand significantly due to the relationship between Uganda and other countries. This was during preparations for the 3-day Uganda-South Africa Investment Summit, which starts tomorrow at Munyonyo.
The Uganda-South Africa Trade Forum kicked off in South Africa in February, with President Museveni requesting a second one in Uganda to attract all South African investors. The head of Ugandans working in South Africa, Philip Kakuru, explained that the conference will increase the export volume of Ugandan goods and increase export earnings.
We've been talking about as Ugandan South African business community to say, how can we improve the balance of trade between the two nations? Now it's an opportunity that when they come here, we're able to meet the different Ugandan businesses, whether they are a conglomerate of aggregated farmers of cocoa, aggregated farmers of coffee, aggregated farmers of macadamia, they are able now to form themselves and interact with the actual buyers, for example, to say, this is what the market needs in South Africa. The road transport from Mombasa Harbour, you know that we are the link to South Sudan, we are the link to Eastern DRC, we are the link to Rwanda, to Burundi. So you're boasting of an East African community market where Uganda is the most well-positioned country to enter the East African market, which has over 275 million.
The CEO of MTN Uganda, Sylvia Mulinge, and Mione operators in Uganda explain how they will benefit from the conference.
Village greatly honored to be hosting and enabling this first inaugural Uganda-South Africa summit. It's a trade summit, and the whole objective of this is to increase the balance of trade between Uganda and South Africa. We want to have a lot more of Ugandan produce being exported into South Africa, so that we can create a lot more opportunities for different verticals, be it agriculture, mining, oil and gas, tourism. There are very many conversations that are going to be happening in this place.
If you can check inside the tent, you can see our booth. It is decorated very well. For us as MiOne, we do some products. I can give you an example. We do button phones. We do tablets, we do computers, but also we have other partners who do TVs and other products. One of the reasons why we've come here mostly is to showcase our products.
President Yoweri Museveni is expected to attend the event and deliver a message to investors to strengthen trade and relations between Uganda and South Africa. Irene Faith Nantongo, Jamiru Sekaja, UBC News.
We'll now go for a short break and return with the latest in business.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Hey, can I pay with Momo?
Here's our merchant code.
Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Uncle, you should see London. Oh, my boy. It has been 5 years. You should see Uganda. Yes. Uncle Marcus, that's my former school.
See, soon there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
This is impressive. Do you even have connection out here?
Well, we have 100% 4G countrywide.
Okay.
We even have 5G too.
That's approximately 700 billion Uganda shillings in tax, making Airtel one of the largest corporate income taxpayers over the last 5 years, helping build a better Uganda.
today, your son, so our new Uganda.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
Here is the 2023 musical launch of the year. 16th of September 2023, Kololo Ceremonial Grounds will be the only place to be, as the whole of Uganda will gather to witness the Museveni Awoma musical launch by Eman Sereko, also known as Munamasaka. Don't miss all your artists, comedians, stage and movie actors, members of parliament, ministers, leaders at different levels, led by the Right Honorable Premier Robin Nabanja. The chief guest of the day will be the one and only Sabalwanyi Jajamwami, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All at a free entry at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on the 16th of September 2023. Do not miss!
Uganda's oil and gas projects are providing opportunities for international certification and employment in various disciplines. 12,000 Ugandans have received global oil industry training and international certification in welding, heavy goods vehicle driving, and scaffolding, among others. 6 public and private institutions have received international accreditation and certification from industry bodies such as City and Guilds, ECITB, OPITO, AWS and NEBOSH. 250 government officers from various ministries and agencies have trained in oil and gas related disciplines such as petroleum engineering, geosciences, law and economics. 71,300 Ugandans are currently employed in the sector. The National Oil and Gas Talent Register provides visibility to Ugandans with skills and competencies for possible employment in the oil and gas sector. Registration is free. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Hello, Mom. How did you sleep? How is Salongo? Oh, Mommy, how is Grandma? And Simba, the dog, yeah, the funny one.
Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel Bona voice bundles. Dial *100 *1 hash. Select Call Bona to choose bundles from as low as 1,000 shillings from daily, weekly, monthly, or bundles that don't expire. Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel. A reason to imagine.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives and African Management Institute have launched business development standards and nationwide sensitization campaign to streamline service providers in business enterprises. The Quality Assurance Controller in the Ministry of Trade, Johnson Batekaniza, says the standards need to be adopted by all business stakeholders to ensure maximum returns.
Lack of business practical knowledge has caused many businesses to fail. Professional guidance from service providers on credit control mechanisms and how to stay afloat amidst changing business trends will help businesses thrive.
The kind of business development services we need to give to our businesses is not only just talking about how people should use money. It's going beyond that. Otherwise, you end up making decisions that will not grow your business. Now, they are new, I want to call them new because they are not more than 5 years strategies that the government has come up with. You have heard of EMIOGA, you have heard of parish development model, and we need to have business development services at the center stage. The only challenge at times is that even in the other projects that people implement, we have found people looking at business development services as a last resort. An NGO is implementing a project, it waits for the 4th and 5th year to begin looking at sustainability. So why can't you begin from the first year to look at sustainability and therefore incorporating business development services?
Business development standards guarantees quality in the services provided to entrepreneurs in accounting and human resource management practices.
So the sensitization will help us educate and make sure that the public is very well aware of why these standards, what are they, and then they will be able to effectively participate. And also then the providers themselves to be motivated to join and be trained so that they are better BDS standards providers than they have been now.
Businesses lose money due to inadequate guidance from the business development service providers. This launch comes to directly ensure quality knowledge is extended to entrepreneurs to reap vastly from business.
The BDS standard making process is a welcome development. For one, we need standards in the delivery of BDS services. A lot of SMEs have approached providers and have received substandard services. And in many instances, they've lost money. So someone wants a loan, approaches an expert to develop a business plan. The person develops a substandard plan. The SME loses money and also doesn't receive the loan that they expected to get from the financial institution.
The implementation of this launched business development standards is a landmark that will ensure that businesses get the right people who will guide them as they do their operations for business growth. Crispus, Arinitwe, UBC News.
Thanks, Crispus, for that story there. Now, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Aditwala Kadaga, has advised the church to spread the gospel of hard work to the ghetto youth. She was chief guest at the mega youth patriotic crusade that was organized by the Universal Apostles Church of Righteousness at Chirama in Kaliro district. The youth crusade was held under the theme Know Your Creator during your youthful days. The main preacher, also team leader of Universal Apostles Church of Righteousness, Prophet David, emphasized the church's contribution in transforming the people's lives through advocacy for serious work.
To go to the ghettos. Those people need deliverance. Their life is the life of crime, of speculation, and general lawlessness. When you meet them, they tell you they have nothing to lose. But I think it will be important for them to interact with young people who are in the same age group.
Because we want. If you don't understand God, if you don't have God in your wisdom, in your life, that person is a sin. The master of that person is Satan.
Let's have a look now at how the Ugandan shilling fared today against selected local and international currencies in our market report. Welcome back, and moving further afield, world leaders, policymakers, Climate experts and activists, civil society, and the business community have converged in Kenya, Nairobi for the Africa Climate Summit. Now, the goal is to build synergies and fast-tracking the adoption of practical solutions to address climate change. Dennis Sigoa reports.
Climate change has attracted a summit for leaders, the business fraternity, climate change activists and experts to discuss mitigation and adaptation issues. The global meet will address the increasing exposure to climate change and its associated costs to Africa and the globe.
The conversation of North versus South must come to an end. Who did what? Is not a conversation that we have the luxury to engage in. Because when the apocalypse happens, it will happen for all of us.
We are not isolated. We are following the global agenda. Although we are not the polluters, our responsibility is just 4%, but we cannot isolate because the climate issue, it's really affecting all of us globally, the planet, and we need a sound planet for the next generation.
Everybody seems to be interested in the climate change discussions.
Then the issues of capacity, skills, knowledge with regard to climate is very important. We need also to bring on board our government in terms of project preparation. Climate issues are very new.
So we are going to create awareness to the communities, to schools, as we have been doing it for some good years now, like creating awareness to schools, planting trees. You know, trees, they really help a lot to as you know, trees, they act as carbon sink.
The Africa Summit is a platform to inform and influence commitments, pledges and outcomes leading to the development of the Nairobi Climate Declaration. A legislator, Omara Tubo, articulates some of Uganda's interests at the summit.
What amazes me is when the international community talks about moving away from the use of fossil fuel while they still continue to invest, and they don't want Africa also to tap from their resources. So that's why I'm saying that we must balance. How do we transition from the use of fossil fuel to the use of smoother sources of energy? It must be a smooth transition.
Some eco-friendly and climate-smart solutions and innovations are showcased at the expansive exhibition center. The goal of these exhibitions at KICC is to provide opportunity for interaction, learn, and adoption of practical solutions.
As long as you have your charger, you just plug, and then you just put and then you plug on the socket. So you can charge it from the office, you can charge it from the house, you can charge it anywhere.
The security light over here, on that particular end we have a solar powered TV, and then we have e-cooking solutions that comes with an induction cooker and an electric pressure cooker.
The summit has however put Kenya on the spotlight due to the bureaucratic accreditation process. Hundreds of registered delegates, both local and international, could be seen braving long queues, thus leaving them with less time to participate in various important sessions.
The issue of climate and climate change is a matter of global concern, and the turn-up at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi tells it all. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Nairobi.
Malaria is still the #1 cause of death in Uganda. To help you protect your family from malaria, the government of Uganda is continuing its mosquito nets distribution campaign to give mosquito nets to every household in the country. Register and receive your mosquito nets from the community health worker. Distribution of nets in the following districts and cities will take place from the 8th to the 13th of September 2023. Buku, Bulambuli, Vuyende, Ibanda, Iganga, Jinja City, Jinja, Kamuli, Kamwenge, Kapchora, Kazo, Chegegwa, Luka, Mbara City, Mbara, Namayingo, Ntungamo, and Rwampara. Every district will have received their mosquito nets by November. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. Sleep under a mosquito net every night. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Global Fund.
Under the net.
no my area will catch.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at sports news now. Joshua Cheptegei and Victor Kiplagat are August Uganda Sports Press Association personalities. Now, the duo was impressive during the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. Meanwhile, the USPA Sports Gala, where the best in a year are crowned, is on this September. Eamon Ngabo reports.
During the same assembly, Joshua Cheptegei and Victor Kiplagat were unanimously voted joint winners for the now special USPA Sports Personality for August. Joshua Cheptegei successfully defended his 10,000-meter world title at the 2023 World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary, becoming the first Ugandan to win and protect a world title twice.
Of Africa, he's roared like a lion, and so has Ibenyo.
Victor Kiplagat became the second Ugandan to win the marathon world title.
That is a winning smile as he takes gold in Hero Square.
We have winners that have acclaimed a certain national layer, that is the World Championships that happen in Budapest, Hungary, and all of them met the kind of bar that we always advance. That bar is international platform, and all of them met it. One in the 10,000 meters, and the other became the second Ugandan to win a world marathon medal.
Other commendations included Jacob Sunday winning bronze in the 1,500 meters, at the Commonwealth Youth Games in Trinidad and Tobago, Victor Chelotik winning bronze in the 3,000 meter steeplechase, at the same games, while Fred Mugelwa, the Shikran's head coach, received the supportive award for guiding Uganda to 5th place at the 2023 Netball World Cup.
And we've almost come to the end of this bulletin. But before we leave you, let's have a recap of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, security detonates 6 other improvised explosive devices. FDC declines to fund Birigwa's extraordinary delegates conference. Experts predict a fuel crisis in the near future in Uganda. And in sports, USPA votes Cheptegei and Kiplagat sports personalities of the month. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Did you know over 50,000 nurses and midwives will be joining the healthcare workforce? That's right. Welcome to Education Forum. I'm Maureen Babide, and in today's episode, we'll be focusing on health. On 31st August 2023, the Ugandan Nurses and Midwives Examinations Board released over 50,000 candidates' results. Now, this 35th series was officiated by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, amidst other officials from the Ministry of Education. In attendance were principals from various training nursing schools. According to numbers, a lot of students excelled highly, and of course a few shortcomings here and there were also registered. Before we go any further, let's hear from the chairperson, Yun Meb.
As I give my remarks, allow me to say this. Today is a day of two events. A day for accountability for those who went through. We must account what we did.